Episode 14, written February 9, 2000. Here comes Jerry. The ring of my front doorbell at 6:20 a.m. only startled me. Jenny was at a marriage rehearsal party for a good friend and left the night before for Florida. She would be gone for 3 days. I was back to bachelorhood after a long hiatus, and the state of our apartment emphasized that. I thought it was uncharacteristic of Johnny to ring the doorbell. Yesterday he knocked. And to arrive so early? It must have been someone else, I thought. It was. A round, unshaven beast of a man loomed directly in front of me after I passively opened the front door. Looking like an unsuccessful panhandler who just awoke from a long night in the street, he introduced himself as my driver. His name was Jerry. He inched closer into my front hallway and asked politely if he could use the washroom. At that moment, my phone rang. It was my wife Jenny calling from Florida to check up on me. Not answering the phone in my regular high-pitched and energetic voice made her question what was wrong. I exclaimed that there was an ugly man using my washroom who claimed to be my new driver. Jenny was upset that I had let a stranger into the house. I tried to explain that it all happened so quickly. I didn't really have a choice. During her verbal lashes to scold me for my behavior, other sounds were coming from the washroom. I heard physical grunts of release caused by objects escaping from the alleyway of Jerry's body. He was dumping. Hearing the toilet flush, but the tap remained silent, was enough audible proof that he did not wash his hands. I was dealing with a pig. Literally. Outside was an old-looking limousine. It had seen its better days. One of the front lights was burnt out. Rust was already invading its decayed body. "It is what Willie gave me, man," he told me. The owner of the company probably not even trust him with anything else. "I'll be your new driver, man. Morning and afternoon. I think Johnny's on a leave of absence, man," he told me. I couldn't have been happier. Jerry pulled his filthy hand out of his pocket, not to open the door for me, but to offer me a handshake. This gesture was far too barbaric for me. I declined. I would never touch any part of him. Well, maybe a punch would catch him on the chin. "Johnny is off for a few days, some personal business," Jerry replied. I knew that it didn't get any more personal than a Portuguese stripper. On his way to school, Jerry was all conversation. Jerry was fully entertained by the comic books that I had on the top of my toilet. "They were great books, hilarious, man. Everyone needs a good laugh when they're dumping, man," Jerry exclaimed. I did not respond. I could only detain my short temper for a short while. As the limo sputtered further north, that was when I released what I had inside. "There are several gas stations and donut shops to dump in at 6 in the morning," I said. "Why my apartment? You may have had scabs or something on your butt. Some kind of STD," I screamed. Jerry then apologized and explained that it was a serious physical crisis. He also apologized for his grubby appearance, as he put it. He told me that he had gotten really drunk last night after learning that his girlfriend of 3 months had fallen in love with the Toronto Blue Jays field photographer. "I can't even go to the games anymore. If I see him, I'll kill him," Jerry told me. I guess he had not realized that the season was over and the Jays came dead last, 22.5 games out of first place. I was a Yankee fan. Politely, Jerry then asked if I could run some lines with him. "Run some lines?" I asked. Jerry told me that he'd been auditioning for a role in a B Theater's performance of The Lion King. The final day was this afternoon. He was going to be the warthog. Without even giving my approval, Jerry's fat fingers touched the play button of the tape player. Hakuna Matata, a hit song from The Lion King's musical, loudly filled the car. Jerry started to say his lines fully rehearsed, in warthog dialect. I played the role of the rat with much less enthusiasm after collecting the script sheets that Jerry threw back to me. He knew his lines off by heart. I was getting angry again. "This is really fun," screeched Jerry. I did, however, respond when we arrived at school. The drive took over an hour. "I wish you luck, my friend," I said. Following that, I shouted, "Please F.O. and take the warthog with you." I then immediately called Willie to arrange another driver. Willie laughed at the morning's events. Then he promised that Vladisov, a Russian gentleman, would be there tomorrow to pick me up. "I'll make sure he dumps before he gets you," Willie laughed before hanging up. Oh yeah.